Donald Trump went on David Letterman's show, and he got lost in his talking points and stupidity. Listen to what he had to say about healthcare.
I would like to see a plan that could be better and cost less for the people, and you can do that.
I've told this story many times. I have traveled to other countries, and while in the other country, I have injured myself, and I have had to go to a hospital or to a clinic and had myself taken care of.
Right.
And in one case, it was I had an arm reattached, and at the end of the procedure, they said they wrote me up, they said go to it was like $12.
Yeah.
$12.
No, it's true.
So now, what would be wrong with that?
I had an instance in Scotland where a friend of mine was in Scotland recently. He got very, very sick. They took him by ambulance. He was there for 4 days. He was really in trouble. And they released him. And he said, where do I pay? They said, there's no charge. And not only that, he said it was like great doctors, great care.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have a great system in this country if we had people...
Are people afraid of socialism? Is that
well,
what
they're afraid of a lot of things. I mean, I think they're afraid of a lot of things. But mostly it's incompetence. I mean, how do you spend... I mean, this is a number that's a real number. How do you spend $5 billion on a website, just the creation of the site itself, and it doesn't work?
$5 billion. You think the website costs $5 billion? Come on, you have to have some level of skepticism, Donald Trump. Like, what, did you read WorldNet Daily and you saw that and you're like, that's it. It was $5 billion. I'm not going to think about this anymore. I'm not going to research it any further. It's $5 billion. Have some common sense, you dipshit. So conservatives used to say that it was $634 million. Even that was incorrect, and that was a massive overstatement because, of course, that figure of $634 million, that, quote, includes all of the company's contracts for a Health and Human Services Department program over the last 7 years. So, in other words, the same company that got the contract to do the website had been doing business with the Health and Human Services Department for 7 years. So that $634 million number is everything they ever did for the government, not just the website. So again, totally misleading. And the number $5 billion, to be clear here, is just totally made up. So what's the real number? How much did the website really cost? Well, according to an analysis from the Sunlight Foundation, $70 million. You're a little off there, buddy. Now, understand, you could argue, it's a perfectly legitimate argument to say, well, that's still too much, and I don't like that. Okay, it's fine. Have at it. Make that argument. But don't say it's $5 billion, because that's stupid, and don't say it's $634 million, because that's also wrong. That's Donald Trump for you. But the best part of the clip, Donald Trump just praised single-payer health care. And he's totally oblivious. He's clueless. He has no idea that he just did that. He's like, what's with these systems? Like, when my friend who was in Scotland, he got hurt. Then he got help. They didn't charge him anything. That's amazing. Anyway, fuck the government here. But wait, you just advocated for single-payer health care. That is single-payer health care. Single-payer health care is very simple. Instead of us having to pay out of pocket and go fucking bankrupt and get ripped off by for-profit insurance companies, instead of us doing that when we get hurt and we have to pay, it's just, no, it comes directly out of your tax dollars. So, like, instead of all your money, the money you give to the government, instead of all of it going to war, instead of all of it going to pork barrel projects, which are useless, instead of all of it going to corporate welfare, like to Walmart and ExxonMobil and Wall Street, instead of propping up the big banks with our tax dollars so they can continue to screw us, it would be that our tax dollars go to help us when we get hurt. Radical idea! It's so radical that almost every modern nation does it, except for us. And Trump is just flabbergasted. This is how you know he's so ignorant, is that, well, there's a million other ways you know too, but the fact that he doesn't even realize what he's saying. He doesn't get that he's advocating for single payer. He doesn't understand it because he doesn't understand what the political labels really mean. He doesn't understand what the policy ideas really are. He doesn't understand what the true progressive position is and the true conservative position is. So instead, what does he do? Yeah, Obamacare. Obamacare is bad. It's not good. $5 billion website, which I just made up, but $5 billion. Show me your birth certificate, goddammit. Show me your report card in college. Because I'm so smart. I'm Donald Trump. I got a ferret on my head.